Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another thrilling installment of Morning Drew. You know who it is, your boy Andrew, also go by the name Tank. Many people I grew up with were quick to call me out for going by a different alias. They're like, who the fuck's Andrew? Who's this Andrew character? Where's the Tank I know and love? I'm right here, man. I'm right here. Welcome back. It's good to be here. I premiered the first few episodes of the show this morning, and it has been getting positive feedback. So I am very grateful to everybody that's checked it out so far. Thank you kindly. It's nice to know that people really are looking out, supporting your boy, enough to make a grown man cry. On top of the fact that I premiered the show today, it's also my birthday. Happy birthday. It's my birthday. Quarantine birthday. It's very funny to me that at the beginning of the pandemic, when we were quarantining, there was reason to believe it would only last a few months. So the select few people who had birthdays between like March and June, give or take, they were complaining that it's like, oh man, why'd I get unlucky? I got a quarantine birthday. They were like taking pictures and uploading themselves alone in a room with some balloons, being like, well, I guess this is the way it is. And here we are a full calendar year later, and all of us got to take a turn at having a sad person birthday. But them's the breaks, man. That's just the way it is. I wore a mask. I refrained from going outside, save for the bare essentials. I tried to work as least as possible, but, you know, what can you do? Yeah, one thing I learned editing the previous episodes is that, for one, what a fool I was to think that I was going to get away with not editing this. I was ready to just click send and call it a day, be like, record myself being hilarious for an hour, press upload, walk away. We're done here. No. I pause way too much. I stammer. I click my fingers and I smack my stupid lips. But the good thing about that is when you have the power to control your own conversation, you come off a lot more interesting in the end product. It's kind of nice, actually. Being a bit of a control freak, it's actually even nicer because if for some reason I or whoever I'm talking to says something that I think is dumb, I have the power. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's my birthday. Feels cool. Bit of a milestone. Turned 30. A little anticlimactic, not being able to do it up big, but at the same time, very appropriate because it's just a number. Doing the math, that's the age I am, but I've been pretty curmudgeonly a while now. I was born to be old, if that makes sense. I guess old soul is a term some people would apply to themselves, but I eat way too many chicken nuggets to consider myself an old soul. I still managed to have a pretty nice day. I went and got myself a McDonald's breakfast, treated myself, got a sausage egg McMuffin, a fine sandwich, if you ask me. One of the best breakfast sandwiches that fast food has to offer. And Angela, my girlfriend, who many of you have had the pleasure of hearing, postmates me a box of cookies to celebrate with, which I have here behind me. Very sweet. Yeah, just hanging out, me and the cat. My boy, oh yeah, my cat. I have a cat. His name is Dwayne. I don't know if I mentioned. I'm actually sitting on my kitchen table right now because he is sleeping on my office chair. Cat owners know what I mean by that, know what I'm talking about. I love having a cat. They're just these squishy little guys, and they do stunts, and they get into all kinds of mischief. I don't know why. I mean, I'm allergic to cats, so I had reason to be resistant, but I've come around. They're funny guys. In putting together and listening to the last few episodes, I definitely see the way in which I would make adjustments to the show. I would certainly not do away with, but definitely commit less to some of these segments. I do enjoy this astrology, but I realized in talking to my buddy Daniel that not that he was resistant or anything like that. He was rolling with the punches. I appreciated him, but it made it clear that like, okay, I don't know enough about this to confidently talk to people who don't know about it and try to I guess teach them. And also like the people who have made the decision to not be into it already like don't want to be taught about it. Or I'm like, oh, this is what that means. How do you feel about that? And they're like, I don't feel any way about it. It's made up. I'll probably still ask, but I might commit a little less to it and just like get the answers. And then if their answer to my question of if they care about it or not is, it's fine, I might just move on. Be like, okay, well, I got your answers, so thank you for sharing. What's your favorite soda? And then the day job tips I had a tough time with. It felt very shoehorned in my opinion, and I also did a bad job making the question clear. I noticed, and also everybody I've asked so far has given me the same advice. I think I cut it out in one of them, but they both just insist that the key to any field is to just lie, never be honest. If someone asks you a question, do not for a moment show any vulnerability. Just start talking. And I guess it's good advice, but at the same time, it makes me very paranoid that any expert I've ever spoken to is just winging it because so far everyone in my life I've asked about it has insisted that that they are just making mouth sounds and hoping that their brain is able to keep up. So we'll see how that fits into the show moving forward. Oh, I had another friend, Michael. Shout out Michael. Uh, there are a lot of Michaels in my life, but this is the one that likes anime and. So, oh, don't worry, guys. This is the Michael that likes anime and video games. He called me out on my drink tiers, where he's like, "Where's beer? You don't like beer, man?" I do like beer, but I'm not gonna sit here and say it tastes good. It tastes horrible. I like it. I drink it. The flavor brings me joy, and the sensation is pleasant. But am I gonna say that the flavor is good? No. It tastes like sour, bitter bread. It's like if Disney Channel original movies were a beverage. It's like this isn't a good product, but I love it because it makes me feel nice. It takes me to a place I enjoy being in. So that's my opinion of that. Do I have a current drink tier? No. No updates. I mean, I'm not drinking sugar-free Red Bull anymore, mostly because I don't have any on hand. So, let's see. I guess we should just get into the meat of it, huh? What am I digging, dude? What am I digging, dude? It's been a while since I last recorded, so I've gone through a lot of different phases. There was one point where I was eating a lot of trail mix. I was convinced it was a healthier alternative to chips, only to ultimately realize that it's mostly just M&Ms. I was pretty taken aback actually. Like I started paying attention, and it's like I'm eating more M&Ms to peanuts than I would be if I was eating a bag of peanut M&Ms. So I did away with that. What else was I doing? Oh man, one thing I'm digging right now. Last night I made some chicken in my crock pot. Man, that crock pot is such a blessing. To think that there are people who don't have a crock pot in their lives saddens me. You just set it and forget it, man. And you get tender meat or chili or whatever you want, man. We originally acquired it when we first moved into our apartment, and we did not have gas on our stove, so there was no reliable way for us to prepare rice. And so we got it because the idea was we would make rice in the crock pot, and didn't work out great. We have since acquired gas for one, and that was nice. But then we also acquired a rice cooker, which, hey man, I was skeptical at first because I can be kind of a broke dad sometimes, where it's like, what do we need that for? We can make it this way. But the rice cooker is very good, and you can get one for like $20 at Target, just like a little one that only makes I don't know like 3 servings. Hey man, get you a rice cooker to go along with your crock pot, to go along with your air fryer, because we've also been using. I know it's a bit of a meme right now that millennials be using air fryers, but holy hell, man, those air fryers changed the game. I use it almost exclusively to make vegetables. Like I just put broccoli in there, squirt a small amount of oil, a little salt and pepper. Delicious. Put it in there maybe 7 minutes on 370, 380. Bro, that's so good. And I need it because I'm trying to be healthier, and to have tasty vegetables is really important. I'm trying to be healthier because your boy's the big dirty 30 now. Uh, and it's the point where if I am negligent of what I'm consuming, then I can pretty quickly just become, well, it can get pretty bad. So I'm trying to stay on top of that stuff. Also, one of the birthday gifts that Angela was kind enough to gift me is a really nice pair of pants. And she snooped into my closet and saw the pant size that I wear, but she did not do the stretched out pants that I haven't washed in a week math. And so the pants are a little snug. And she's not thrilled. She feels like she did a bad job getting me a gift. So I'm like, fuck. All right, I guess now I have to lose 20 pounds so that I can fit into these pants and make my girlfriend feel better about this gift she gave me. Which, hey man, if that's the incentive, then as long as the outcome is that of health and wellness. What else am I digging? I was listening to a lot of Rush, the band Rush. They're great. I liked them a lot. Angela hates them. Don't know why. There are so many bands that I've listened to over the past few years that I like. I see no wrong. They are just so good. I'm eating them up with a knife and fork and spoon. And I listen to them in her presence, and she is like, if I have to listen to even another moment of this, I'm I'm gonna make some regrettable actions. I'm gonna leave. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Steely Dan is awesome. And she's like, they are the least awesome thing that's ever happened. And she feels the same about Rush, apparently. Hamilton as well. I really like Hamilton. Or I liked it more. I kind of burned myself out on it. But she didn't even give that like a moment. She was just like, this is the worst. Don't don't make me listen to this. She knows what she likes, folks. And what she likes is Bjork. Oh, but yeah, listening to Rush. Something had happened with Rush that has happened to me with a couple of male figures, is that as a youth, I only ever knew them as old men. Like any video I watched, all the images I've seen is just of older men. And so that's my mental image of who they are and what they do. And now that I'm getting into them, I'm seeing images and videos of them in their youth. And man, it's like, like, like Geddy Lee. Geddy Lee is already kind of an interesting looking person. And as an older man, it's just, oh yeah, that's his look, whatever. But seeing him as a youth, trying to wear a sexy rock star outfit, I felt like I walked in on my dad jacking off or something. It is so uncomfortable. I'm like, why are you wearing that? What are you doing? No, put on a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame T-shirt, quick! I can't stand to see this. This is so uncomfortable to watch. Yeah, it's happened a few times. There are examples where it's a more positive reaction. Like I remember in the case of William Shatner, I only ever knew him as a plus sized older man. Um, and then when I finally, for the first time, watched the Star Trek the original series and saw my man Captain Kirk, beefcake, thick, strong, a leader, a man of the people, a chicken sandwich and black coffee. Boy, it made sense. I was like, there's Captain Kirk. This all makes sense now. Same thing happened with Sean Connery. I only ever knew him as a distinguished older Scottish man. And then I knew that he was James Bond. I never watched the James Bond movies. And so I was like, this doesn't make sense. He's an old guy. Why would an old guy be James Bond? But then I watched James Bond, the ones with Sean Connery, and I was like, ah, international man of mystery. Found him. There's the man that lays pipe all across the world. it all came together. So that happened with Rush. It was fun. It was interesting. They're great, man. Moving Pictures is a fine album, and I tried to listen to one or two of their other albums, but at that point I had already begun moving on. These last few days I've been listening to Gorillaz, specifically Plastic Beach, the album. Anthony Fantano put out a video redoing an old review of that album and giving it a very generous score. And Gorillaz has always been an outfit that has been on my list of bands to really dive into, but just kind of never was in the right mood for it. In hindsight, I regret it, but there was nothing I could do about it at the time. I do regret being so stubborn about my music tastes, if that makes sense. Like, I never turned things down necessarily. Well, that's not true. I did turn things down, but I just was trying so hard to identify as a heavy metal guy that people would approach, not they wouldn't approach me, but songs would come on that like I recognized were good, and I was like, oh, this is neat. It's not necrophagist though. It ain't decapitated though, so no thanks. All these years later, I'm listening to albums that came out around that time, and I'm like, man, I missed out. This is good shit. Plastic Beach rules. And specifically the single Stylo, I'm enjoying for one because it rips, but also because my buddies back home, when we have done karaoke, they always perform that song, and it fucking rules. And I didn't know who did that song for a long time, and I made the choice to not seek it out because of how much fun it was when they performed it. And I was like, I don't want to hear the original. I only want to hear my boys perform this track. Uh, but then I came upon it, and it's like, oh, this is Gorillaz? Oh shit, that makes sense because it's my buddy Antonio's favorite band. Shout out Antonio. Love you, bud. I was eating a lot of soup at one point. When the quarantine first began, I guess my mother kind of bought into the hype a little bit and acquired a bunch of soup. And so the last time I visited, she gifted them to me because she's like, "Hey Andrew, I'm not gonna eat this soup. I got caught up in the craze, and I bought a bunch of soup. I don't need soup. Here, take the soup." I was like, "I'm not gonna turn down free soup, shit." And so had a can of soup with a sandwich. It was pretty good. Did it again. It was really good. Had the idea to toast my sandwich in the air fryer, and the game changed. Scrumptious. A toasty sandwich and a bowl of soup and a hot cup of coffee. It doesn't get better than that, man. It's so good. Goddamn. Get you a hearty beef and vegetable soup, maybe a chicken noodle with some carrots and celery up in there. Hearty, rich. So I actually went out and bought more soup because I ate it all. They're only like $1 a can, depending on if it's on sale or not. It was nice. Oh, I had another soup observation. Oh yeah, I was gonna rank the soups. Let me rank my soups. My relationship with clam chowder has evolved a lot recently. I am from not too far from the Monterey Bay, and so I have a lot of nostalgia and fond memories of going to the Fisherman's Wharf and having a bowl of clam chowder, not in a bread bowl. I personally am not fond of the bread bowl. Many will fight me on that. They will lose because they are weak. Not a fan of the bread bowl. I feel like it's too much work. I'd rather just eat the soup. It's what I'm here for. I just want the chowder. That said, I work in a restaurant currently where we offer the patron's choice of either salad or soup, and we offer 4 distinct types of soup. We have never taken a soup off the menu. We have never added soups to the menu, at least not in the time I've been there. We do not offer clam chowder. People insist that we offer clam chowder, and it has affected my view of that chunky stuff. Because we do have a soup that is similar to clam chowder. It is not clam chowder. If I tell you the soup, it'll give away where I work. Does it matter? Does it matter? For now, yes. I will make the choice that it matters, so I won't tell you the soup. I will tell you it is a dense, dairy-based soup that has chicken and potato dumplings. Not terribly dissimilar to the consistency of clam chowder. And people will say, I'll have the clam chowder. I say, oh, I'm sorry, we don't have it. We have this one. I'll describe it. And they're like, no, that's okay. Just the clam chowder. It's like, we don't have it. You don't have clam chowder anymore? I don't know that we've ever had clam chowder. But I got it last time. You had this other soup that is very similar to clam chowder. It's not clam chowder? It is not clam chowder. Then what did I have? Probably this one. Babe, what soup did I get? I don't know, but just get that one. I guess I'll just get that one. I still love clam chowder though. So I will put it on my list of soups that I like. I will also put on this list one of the soups that the restaurant where I work carries because it's actually really good. It is a spicy sausage soup in a thin spiced cream sauce. I recommend it, it's quite good. And I wrote down French onion. I remember getting this as a youngster. I used to like cheese a lot more. Not that I like cheese less, but I was much more vocal about my love of cheese when I was younger. And French onion soup is notorious for having a layer of cheese melted on the top of it, on top of bread, on top of the soup itself, which I think is just onions and shit. I don't know. But I remember getting very excited about peeling off the cheese and eating the cheese and the bread, and then drinking the broth and like complaining that the onions were there. Now that I'm older, I think I would eat the onions and I would probably enjoy them. I have fond memories of that soup, and so I included it on my list. And those, folks, are my top three soups. Morning Drew. Wow, we've really been talking for a while now. That's cool. I'm glad I'm still capable of doing these alone. I decided to not have a guest this time, so I guess I'll move on to telling some jokes. Exciting. I love telling jokes. So let's pull them up, shall we? Let's see. Oh yeah, this one. I was looking up melatonin because I've been having trouble sleeping, and I saw that in the early stages of melatonin, they used it as a treatment for autism, and that made me laugh because it really says a lot about how seriously they take mental illness and the treatment of it. Because it's like, hey doc, my kid is extremely autistic. What can we do? And they're like, have they tried getting a good night's rest? Let's see. They're gonna start opening the churches down here in LA County again. I'd say God forbid anyone gets sick, but it looks like God's trying really hard to get people sick. They should be okay. All they need to do is implement a BYOB policy. Bring your own blood of Christ. BYO. BOC. What else we got? It's been hard to write jokes about the headlines lately because there's a lot going on lately. Another one about church. I hate how all this tech stuff is bleeding into everything I do. I can't even go to church without accepting cookies. I like that one. Here we go. My buddy was trying to get me to take omega 3s. I told him that sounds like snake oil. He says, no, it's fish. Not too bad, in my opinion. Here's one. Being a boyfriend is expensive. I pay for all our meals together, I pay for flowers, and I pay for the burner phone to hide it all from my wife. Alright, here we go. I have a bad reputation because of my sticky fingers. It's not that I steal or anything, I just eat a lot of waffles. Boop, boop, boop. Let's see. Ken Jennings was a guest host on a certain game show. Before his first time hosting, he started apologizing for a bunch of insensitive tweets he made. I feel like he got nervous when he found out his future was in jeopardy. Setup was very sloppy there, but we made it. We got there. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Um, the California unemployment website was experiencing some outages. You know things are really bad when even the website's out of work. Boom, boom, boom. Oh man, this isn't really a set up punchline joke, but it's an idea I had that I thought was funny. As I mentioned, I work in a restaurant, and I something that happens, and I'm sure happens in other retail establishments, is that there'll be an especially busy time of year, and the higher ups will try to frame it as like this is like our Christmas, okay? This is when we make all our money. This is when it gets so busy. This is Christmas for us, okay? And it's like, okay, but what about Christmas? And they're like, well, that's like Christmas too. And it's like, so we have two Christmases? Why are we? Why is that one like Christmas if we already have Christmas? Why don't you just say this is our Mother's Day? Because it is Mother's Day. I'm having fun. I want to keep going. Let's see. PETA was attacking Kylie Jenner for wearing fur in public. Next, Rubbermaid's gonna attack her for her abuse of plastic. I had one more that I liked. I think it was one about Russian women. I had it highlighted. I don't know how I can't find it. I had a different one about Russia. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, okay. Did you hear that Russian women are finally allowed to operate trains? A breakthrough, sure, but we all know how tough it is for ladies to stay on track. That was not worth the anticipation. I searched way too hard for that joke. That wasn't as good as I thought. It's okay. That's part of this exercise, right? That's why I'm here reading them out loud. I won't know if these are good if I don't read them out loud. There are a lot of jokes that are good on paper, and then you say them out loud, and it's like, it seems I was mistaken. This is not good. This one, I think, is in the same vein to another joke I tell. Do you think the guy that came up with the phrase "Rome wasn't built in a day" was rushed? People were like, "Hey man, we need a phrase. Please give us something." He's like, "Rome wasn't built in a day," and they're like, "Holy shit, you did it, man! Thank you." I have another joke similar to that. What is it? Oh yeah, the guy that came up with "You are your own harshest critic." Is probably people are just like, wow, that's really eloquent. Good job, man. He's just like, it's I don't know, it's fine. I think it sucks. And they're like, no, it's good. And he's like, nah, it's bullshit. Actually, you know what? I hate myself. I'm gonna go home. All right. Okay. I think that's enough of that. Do I want to do one more joke? I feel like I like that last one. People tell me I speak with a pointed tone, but if I'm being honest, I rarely have a point at all. Those words mean different things, but they're the same word. I really love one more fucking humdinger to end on. Oh, yeah. Um, did you see that Facebook is being broken up? That people are accusing them of being a monopoly, but I've played a lot of other games on there. Yeah, that's funny to me. Okay, I think I'll wrap it up on that joke. Gang, I really appreciate you for joining in. You are all too kind. A lot of you are just people who I've been friends with over the years. I miss you and I appreciate you. I hope we get to talk again soon. At this point, I'm still reading comments and stuff. So if you want to leave a comment below, I'll almost definitely see it and respond to it and stuff. Um, Subscribe if you haven't already. I'd be grateful. I intend to put this up on other podcast sites pretty soon. I just think I'd like to get my hands on some artwork to put on there. I like the artwork I have currently, and I'm very grateful to my girlfriend for putting those together. She actually made it for a different project. I think I discussed it in one of the last few episodes. And follow me on Twitter if you want at Drew J Fahey. Instagram Tank J Fahey. That's that, man. Thank you again. I love you. I appreciate you. Drink water. Put a little lemon in there. It'll change your life. be safe. Thanks.